Previously on Talk That Talk.
Apple Podcast, type in Talk That Talk. All right. So, like I said, you guys were kind of tipping your toe into this, and I'm going to actually, in this topic, I'm going to actually ask Derik a question too. And he'll elaborate on that. So and I'm going to tell you where this topic comes from. Just hearing so many conversations about mass bans in different areas, in different states, in different cities. But when I look at the mass bands or all-star bands, or whatever the hell they're called, whatever band, community bands, when I look at them, it seems to me that the Louisiana bands are massive, like massive. And all the other bands are just like me, right? And then also, it also seems to me, and just based on this conversation that you guys were having, that I guess some of the things that are happening in the Louisiana bands are not necessarily some of the things that are happening in the outside bands. So here's the next question: are mass bands a regional thing? Like let's keep it a buck. Like, should everybody have a mass band? Is it so this is where I defer. I'm going to defer to Derik first, and then we can open up the table for the discussion, because I know Derik is part of this. The what is it? The Virginia Mass. I want to say it right. I don't want to get
Virginia Mass Band.
Virginia Mass Band, and apparently I didn't know that there was a mass band that had happened in Virginia in the 90s. I had absolutely no clue. So this new mass band in Virginia is a new thing to me. So, one, what gave you the interest to want to be a part of the Virginia mass band, and then is it something that we really need in Virginia?
So, boom, I'll say this because it's going to kind of tie into what you were saying with the regional. The band itself is a regional thing. Think about them hot spots for them big bands. You talking about Louisiana? Them kids grow up playing instruments since they were little kids. I mean, they grow up around the culture. It's the culture. We don't have that in Virginia, which is also my argument for why, why not have something during the summer that can help promote the culture, but I definitely do agree that it's a regional thing. It's also an infrastructure thing. Like all the groups that you all are talking about have been established for quite some time and have some reputable people that are backing these ensembles, like Justin's ensembles. The people that's leading that, everybody know their name in the state. It's not like these are nobodies. Somebody just wanted to get something together. These are established people. Same thing. I'm talking about like Georgia All Stars Mass Band. They have some reputable names behind it. They have a good infrastructure going behind it. They do everything legit. You could think about the other successful groups. It's partly infrastructure, but when we start talking about size, I think that's a regional thing. Because we can even look at the Detroit or whichever Detroit one we want to talk about. The groups are always small, but look at the high schools. The high schools are always small. Now they have some good players over there, but the high schools are always small. That's what it reflects the region. Same thing I'm talking about in Virginia. Our high school bands are small compared to these other states. So therefore our mass band, our all-star band, will reflect that until the culture starts changing. If we can increase the size of these high school bands, this mass band, this all-star band will increase too. So it's just a lot of factors that go into that. But you asked what was my reason for trying to get behind something like this. We had tried this many years and flopped and failed before. A lot of egos getting in the way, a lot of trial and error, people not really knowing what they were really doing, and not on purpose. I think everybody that tried to do it had good intentions, and I think that's for almost every all-star band. Everybody has good intentions. They want to get together, have some camaraderie, they want to play, have a good time, and that's kind of the basis for all-star mass band. I wanted to get involved because now I'm a high school band director, right? People know me in Virginia, and I felt like in order to get something going that was going to be legit, you need some people that's legit around it. Whether it might start off real slow this summer, and we might see what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong. But if we start, at least making some progress, Trying to get some other, like I said, the big names, the people that people know, the certified people, the people that know how to teach behind it. We can get it rolling like a snowball. I think that was our issue before. It was kind of like everybody's trying to be around, and nobody that's really like legitimate was being involved at all, or tried to stay away from it because they were scared of failure. So I think that was what the issue was in our area. You did say, does every region need one though? Like I said, I don't see why not. I mean, it may not be huge. Like, I don't think we're ever gonna see nothing like Louisiana. I'm sorry, it is what it is. You're not. But I was like, why not? The purpose is there. You want to have fun. If the program is gonna, like just said, they're gonna be teaching the kids in the program. Why not? It's not gonna do anything but a positive effect. Now, if you just up in there blowing your head off and just throwing some music in front of your kids' faces, and they trying to look to the left and the right to see what fingers you playing, and just trying to blow hard, that's not productive. But if you actually going to go in there, you're going to teach. Let's order a routine for rehearsal. Let's go and attack these parts. I think you should do it. That's my personal opinion.
I'm sorry. I heard you. I
Okay.
felt everything you were saying. Because I don't want to skip over what you said. I want to make sure I give you your props on what you said. But Porsha was shaking that old head. I got to know, why do you feel like every region does not need a mass band?
Rick not here, so I'm gonna speak for him. What's the Virginia one gonna sound like?
Talking to me.
Yeah.
Now
you involved. What is it gonna sound like?
You're right. So
because Norfolk doesn't sound like any other band in Virginia, and we don't sound like the SWAC. So
Norfolk doesn't sound like any other band in Virginia. However, the other bands in Virginia have some inkling of Norfolk in them.
So y'all gonna make it sound like Norfolk?
No, I think it should be a centralized sound for. We're talking about like just the things that were characteristic for Virginia, like from the way we play percussion, the approach to the horns. Like, we don't have no SWAC sound in schools in Virginia. Now I ain't saying everybody sounds.
How many people from MD you got in this percussion section?
Now look, like I said, you got to start with it had a faith of a mustard seed.
You saying that y'all gonna do this,
we got high school kids.
We gonna keep it a buck 50 here.
Yeah, but
levels to this. I'm trying to. God is dope. I ain't gonna cuss, but it's levels. So I'm just trying to figure out.
I know it's levels. Let's start from somewhere.
Well, okay, so but I guess I'm just playing devil's advocate here because I ain't got no dog in the fight. My question is this: but why is that, like, I guess the standard, like the Norfolk, to emulate that?
I'm not saying it's the standard. What I'm saying is, what I asked him was, what it's gonna sound like.
Now, so look, this is what I will say. I think Virginia has a sound, just like North Carolina has a sound, just like Georgia has a sound, Louisiana has a sound, Texas has a sound. They have a sound if you really want to pick apart. Now, everybody might have their small differences. We all have our sounds, but Norfolk is the big player in Virginia by far. I mean, it's not a comparison. It's not like we in, I don't know what other state.
And that's what Lauren is saying is exactly what I'm saying. Those bands sound like where they from, right?
Yeah.
No, we don't
necessarily, because Georgia
don't. Here, sir. Like,
Georgia don't.
You don't think Georgia sound like? I'm not even talking. Ain't no Georgia colleges, obviously. I'm talking about, but let's talk about these high schools. They don't sound like a Georgia high school.
Wait, Justin, you going hard? You muted, bro.
Yeah, it don't sound like. And then they come out of Georgia. It can sound Jackson State influence, but
right. So what I'm saying is the Virginia band gonna sound? I just want to know if it's gonna have that whole mentality.
Hold on. Let me get it. I just want to clarify something about the Georgia thing. They sound like Jackson because ain't nothing else in Georgia like that. So most of them kids go to Jackson.
Why we
you can really think about it.
See, but I don't think that's
fair because band that don't sound like
but you have a lot of most of the band directors that's in Georgia be from Bethune though and FAM.
And why do they have the All-Star band don't have no rules to it? They don't got Virginia don't got to sound like Norfolk. That's not the standard of
I never said that.
Well,
I know.
What I asked Derek was what it was gonna sound like.
And Derek, I think y'all should
that's
sound
a
like
fair question.
whatever y'all put out, that's what it sounds like. And don't let nobody discourage y'all from what y'all doing. It's not no. I get it. The Norfolk, where is that?
I'm gonna say it does have to have.
I don't know why y'all got so defensive. I asked him one question.
No, not. I just say it don't have no. Listen, but you gotta think about this too. When they put them products out, Porsha, I think everything that you're saying is gonna come to fruition in them damn comments. Like that, I want to see what they sound like. Cause when I heard the other year, I didn't know what it was. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know if it's over.
So my follow-up question, because I guess it's gonna sound like what it sound like, whatever that means.
No, it's not gonna.
So if it sound like the SWAC, but it's a Virginia All-Star band.
Who's saying it's gonna sound like? See, this why
I'm asking hypothetical questions since you involved.
Yeah.
If it sound like the SWAC, but it's labeled a Virginia All-Star band,
What's wrong with that?
Is that authentic?
But what does sound like the SWAC?
That sound like exactly. Fam, you in the SWAC, but throwing in the SWAC.
We crank up in Norfolk, right?